Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Graça Trigueiros, so well done. You can call me Grace. I'm Portuguese, and I'm the Digital Global Excellence Head at Bial. Bial is a small, medium Portuguese company. We are focused on neuroscience, and we are a little bit everywhere. And I'm here today with Jason from Anthill, and we are actually finding some solutions, like concrete solutions for a huge challenge that I'm sure everyone has, right? The content and create content. So here are the 4 main challenges that I think everyone has a little bit, right? Because when I think about myself and about all the marketeers that work at Bial, and I heard today, someone saying that the content production and management should be like 5 pages and 100 pages, right? But unfortunately, that's not the reality, right? Like we are, all of us, not being marketing managers many times, but being content managers, right? So this is not theoretical. This is actually real problems that I feel. And I'm sure we have all of us a little bit of this. So first of all, the content discovery, right? And reusing and finding synergies across all the markets, right? Second, compliance, global to local. We put a lot of money, investment, efforts to create the best content globally, but then we go local and it's not that easy, right? To implement and to localize. Third, the personalized content, right? Like we are all of us thinking about this. Is extremely effective to have personalized, but what is the cost of that? And then the over-reliance on agencies. So I think we all feel it a little bit, right? So now I will ask Anthill to actually, I will ask Jason to present Anthill, and then we will see how we can solve these problems.
Thank you. Okay. Just going to introduce Anthill. We're a company based in Copenhagen. I'm Australian. However, just to let you know that Anthill is a certified partner for Viva. We're both content, product, and AI partner as well. But we're not limited to working with Viva, so we can integrate with any digital asset management system that you have. So, Graça, you mentioned content discovery and reuse was a bit of a problem from a global and local problem. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yes. So, again, I think discovery itself, it's difficult because, as you know, like many content is being developed in your company, right? Like globally and locally, and then it's very difficult to find what is Germany doing, what is Spain doing it. And then when you actually find something that looks nice, then you don't understand German. At least I don't understand. So it makes everything difficult, right? So I think, and I'm very interested to see how actually AI can help us on this.
Well, I noticed that the theme today has been a lot about AI. Some of it's been good, some of it's been bad, but I want to give you some very practical examples of what you can actually do today. So this is really going to help you and your colleagues generate content at scale with speed. So this is the interface with Arcane. So Arcane directly integrates with Viva or any other digital asset management system. It's very similar to ChatGPT, where you've got the conversation history down the left. There's 2 main functions, which is assist and author at the top. I'll take you through those later. The main thing I wanted to show you here is just the prompt field down the bottom. Now, for those of you, could I just check who uses Viva in the audience? Is there? Okay, so quite the majority. And it's a great system, and as you saw, we're certified. Despite the fact it's a very advanced system, it's still not that easy to find content, whether you're global or local. Wouldn't it be good if you could actually use natural language to find your content? So here, what you'll see down the bottom is I'm just going to type in a quick prompt, find clinical papers about Alzheimer's disease. So this is actually directly integrating with Viva right now, and it's identified the 25 documents that are related to that particular prompt. Of course, the results depend on what type of prompt you put in. But not only can I pull those up, I can actually see what is that paper that I've pulled up, and I can view it here in Arcane directly, switch through all of the pages that are available. Now, as Graça, you're based in Portugal, and you probably find this as well, that not everything is in Portuguese. So I can actually immediately translate any article that I find in your vault into over 33 languages. So that's going to happen in the background. But in the meantime, any other translation that I've done is actually saved, and I can see that here. So this is now showing you the Danish version of that article that I've pulled up. You can download that if you want to as well, and it's ready to go and send off to your colleagues in the markets. What's also really cool is that not only can we translate, but no matter what country you're in, you can use your own natural language, your native speaking language, to type in. So here I'm actually typing in Danish. Although I'm Australian, I know a bit of Danish, not very good. And it'll actually find those documents again. So this is what we mean by universal language. All of the content in your vault is now available to everyone in the world. Graça, so that was the first challenge we talked about. That was content discovery and reuse. And what I showed you there was quickly find information about whatever you want in your vault globally, and then we can translate that information. And I can use my own language as well. The second challenge that you mentioned was efficient global to local models. So can you tell us a bit more about the problems you face?
Yes, of course. So, and I think this is, at least for From is global, no? I think last week I went to the Viva Summit, and it was very funny because I went to a session with global and local pharma professionals, and at the end it was everyone global, and I felt that I was in a therapy session, in the sense that we all have these problems, right? Like how to localize the content that we put so much effort and investment to produce globally, right? And I think one of the biggest challenge is exactly the compliance, right? Because then we imagine, not imagine, we are quite informed, right? Like, and we produce this global content, and then we go locally, and compliance, or they need to change. So sometimes we struggle like to keeping this rule of 80-20, and then we lose a little bit of authority and also our positioning, right? So how can AI, again, help us doing this and accelerate this process? Because it's not just about investment, but again, about our time, our marketeers' time, right? And actually to accelerate this process and to make it more efficient.
Okay, so again, Arcane, let me show you how I can help with global to local. So we're going to use the standard interface here. We're using Content Assist again, and in the prompt input field. I'm just going to insert a prompt to, now let's just imagine we're global brand managers and we want to create an email that we're sending out for a campaign. I've simply said here, use the Vault materials and create an email about Remapan. So this is just creating the copy. I'll show you some of the images, etc. later, but this is now taking away that massive first step of ideation, which usually takes a lot of hours to work with your agency with. Now, I'm not saying agencies are not important, they're very important, but we tend to spend a lot of time here. Now this can cut that down significantly. I've created an email here, it's fully referenced, and I can show you all of the linked documents that relate to that. So this is available today. Now, me as a global brand manager, I've just completed this document. Should I just send it to the markets like we have been doing time after time after time? Because I know, having worked in the UK as a business unit director as well, whenever I get materials from global, I go, fantastic, now I have to rebuild it because it's not compliant with the code of conduct. So let me show you how I can use Arcane for this. Here I've typed in a prompt, which is basically saying, use the ABPI code of conduct, evaluate this email that I've taken from global, identify where it aligns and where there's potential breaches. And then I want you to rewrite this email, integrating those recommended changes to make it compliant. You can imagine how long this will take you if you're doing it manually, right? But here, again, very practical solution. Take this email, compare it to the code of conduct, and what's great is that I can do this for any country in the world. So provided that we've got your code of conduct loaded up, it will evaluate it. So here, as you can see at the start, tells you what you've done really well, 3 points, and about 20 points that's not good. And it's named specific clauses in the code of conduct which it's not aligned to. And then it's integrated those into the new version of the email. And I also asked it to use the core claims document. Now, for those of you that do have Viva, you know that having core claims is really important, but it can be a bit of a quantum leap in a lot of work. You don't need to do that anymore, because if we got your core claims document, we can simply reference that. So it's rewritten the email, it's referenced it, identified where your areas of concern are, alignment, but also provided you with a final copy that's ready for submission MLR according to the UK Code of Conduct. What do you think, Graça? Is that pretty cool?
Amazing. I was just thinking about that, because sometimes we are all struggle, and I know because we heard this a lot today, right? How to apply AI. And like tackling this kind of concrete challenge that we have in Pharma, and for example, the markup references and the localize, all the compliance, etc. If we can accelerate that, we are freeing so much time from our marketeers and medical managers, that I really think AI, it's like in this kind of examples that will add a lot of value and really optimizing the human value that we have and actually freeing time to make them think more about the foundation of the content, the strategy, etc., and not being like coordinating approvals process, etc. So it's amazing. It's amazing.
Exactly. No. Okay, and then you've mentioned also personalised content, because obviously with the explosion of omnichannel, you're not creating materials just for one segment, it's multiple segments. We know personalised content is very important, but it's also expensive and time-consuming. That also allows us, well, not allows us, it causes us to tend to spend a lot of time with agencies. Is that your experience?
Yeah, I could not say it better. I think, of course, we know how effective personalized content is, right? But again, it represents a huge cost, right? Like to do an omni-channel journey for each segment, for each persona, etc., and a lot of time. So sometimes this over-reliance on agency increases a lot of our costs, and because we want to change something, to personalize the content that we have, and we need to pay a lot to do that, right? Like a small change sometimes is like, what? Why are we paying that much for this? So it's and I think it can be another example and how AI can definitely help us. So I'm very keen to see it.
Okay, well, this is the final example that I'm going to give you. So, and this is one of the coolest ones. So firstly, this is the second part of Arcane, which is now the content authoring part. So many of you know about content authoring tools, but let me simplify what we've got here. This is the interface. Again, it's linked into your Viva or any digital asset management system that you have. We can pick a design system. For those of you that are not familiar with design systems, basically it's your brand guidelines which are digitized. And we can create that same look and feel for emails, banners, sales aids, web formats, whatever. So we've got all your brand information over in the left here. The collection in the middle, think about that as the campaign material that you want to focus on. You don't have to ask Arcane to search all of your Viva Vault every time. You can say, look, I'm making a campaign for this. Look at these materials. And that'll put the guardrails around it for you. And then there's a couple of other things we can select by country and language and writing styles, which I'll go into in a second. But the most important part I want to show you at the moment is, firstly, let's pick a design system. And I'm picking a Romapan design system. That's a made-up brand. That's my brand. And I want to use Alzheimer's collection for this campaign. Once I click Start, it's going to pull up the design template for an email, and I've also asked it to create an email about the efficacy and safety of Romapan. So nothing more difficult than that, and you can see that AI is actually working hard using your pre-approved content to actually generate that material here. Again, it's fully referenced. You can click on those, you can see the bubbles. The bubbles will disappear in the final version, which is submitted for MLR. And it's got the final reference section down the bottom as well. So all of that auto-referencing is already done for you. Now, let's just say we're happy with that, and I want to create some segmented materials as well. So let's talk about a general neurologist, and I'm going to use the adoption ladder. And I think I'm going to focus on someone that's a trialist, because they're not using my product. Or rarely, and I want to give them a lot more information. So just 3 clicks there, and it's rewritten the material specifically for that segment. So we've done in what you've seen in a few seconds, which would take you hours and hours, potentially days to actually do. I'm now reviewing the copy as it would appear to the doctor, and I can download that, and the zip file is ready for submission to MLR, ready entirely for all the files to go in. It's not over there. I can still go in and edit, and let's just say, now that I'm happy with that, I want to change the language, let's say to Portuguese. Voila, it's in Portuguese. So now, as a global brand manager, I can actually create materials, global campaigns for every country to save the markets going, fantastic, I have to recreate this. I can do that within seconds. And I know the Portuguese are really, really family friendly, and they mightn't like that image, so what they prefer is a mother and a son, or grandmother and a son, sitting together. And here I can still override not only the image, but I can type in what I want for my headers as well. So you can use the AI, but you can override it. You don't have to use the AI at all. You can actually just type in if you've got the copy that you want to go. Because this is a quantum leap in itself. It's such an easy tool. It's HTML. It's ready to go. It's ready for approval. And that's why you don't have to over-rely on agencies. Like I said, they have their position. But the speed to market, the cost saving, the hours saved is incredible, and allows, as Graça was saying before, it allows you to elevate your brand managers and marketing teams out of that content day-to-day drain and focus on strategies and creativity. Back to you, Graça.
Thank you. I'm really, really impressed. And actually, we have some few minutes, so I would like to know, like, which pains do you have? Do you also feel the same pains that I feel, and how Arcane can help you, like, besides everything that we have here, that it looks pretty amazing and until it's here. So I think we can take advantage, and we have a group experience, or then Jason, let us know where are you?
So yeah, we're happy to take a couple of questions if you want, but for those of you who know Lego and you love Lego, you've probably seen our stand just outside the door there. So if you want to come in and ask us any questions, we're happy to give you a personal demonstration. But we've also got some really cool Lego to win. So all you have to do is pick a key and see if it fits the lock, and if you win it, you take it home at no cost. Any questions at all? Please.
Hi, I'm Jonathan from Educate. We're an HCP engagement platform, and we work globally, and wanted to ask about the solution. Localization is not only about language and translation. We find it in healthcare and medicine, especially a lot about brand name, dosage, unit, guidelines. There's a lot of differentiation. So I wanted to ask if Arcane take this into consideration.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like a friend. The more you feed it, the more it can actually do. So if you give us the market research about your different segments, different dosages required for those segments or patients, it will make sure that it actually refines the answer and the assets that it generates specific to your prompt. So there's a combination there of what information do you have. And sometimes we find with clients that they say, yes, I want it, but our market research doesn't sit in Vault, or our patient segmentation doesn't sit in Vault. We just say, okay, just load it up and make it available. So the more it can consume, the more it can actually generate. And as you saw with those ABPI, the UK Code of Conduct, if I generated the code of conduct or uploaded the code of conduct for every market, it would be able to use that and personalize it specifically for that market. So the answer is generally yes. The more you feed it, the more we'll actually be able to do. You saw some of the buttons that I pressed before, which could actually make it specific for different segments. So we can pre-develop some prompts for you that go into these buttons, so you don't have to write out a paragraph of prompts every time as well. So it makes it super easy. I think we're right on time, so.
Amazing. I'm very happy to see AI tools helping us on these problems and other problems that we have, right? Because it's not only HCP content, it's also now patient content, and I think we are add-on new tasks to marketeers, right? And we need really to find ways to accelerate and to free their time. So thank you so much. It was
thank you,
a
Graça.
very nice experience to be here with you. And
Right.
thank you all.
Thank you all.